Some believe that recent heavy artillery support efforts will change the ways of the war. Are they right? The question is about the effects of the delivery of heavy weapons on the definition of war. To do so, we will proceed with a preliminary strategic tactical approach. The strategy, abstract and complex, is mainly concerned with the paths to follow and the means available, defines options, proposes the most favorable, considering for both resources, priorities, and risks to be taken in the implementation of the decision. Power plug. Power, in its simplest expression, is the ability to impose will. War is conflict in its maximum degree of violence, a war phenomenon, a manifestation of collective violence conducted and coordinated. Understood in antiquity as the art of the general, restricted to the field of battle, the word strategy has expanded its meaning over time. Battles comprise one or more tactical operations and if materialize through tactical operations and actions. Consist of shock. Violence of forces of considerable value, in which both contenders aim. Modify its strategic situation, conquering positions on the ground or destroying part of the enemy's combat power. In the art of war, to win a battle, armies must have the following capabilities. 1. Preparation. Individual, troops able to handle weapons and equipment. Qualification, to act in fractions constituted under command and control. Training, acting in joint forces, understanding the mission at your echelon and maneuvering at 2 levels above, conducting fires. 2. Projection. Area of influence, possibility of intervening through distant fires without troop action. Area of interest, areas of enemy possession that are vital or combat objectives. Area of combat action, action through fire and movement, on the battlefield or kill area. 3. Command and control. Integration of intelligence means to determine targets with the means of combat forces, maneuver and fire support. Objective of the maneuver of the considered echelon in favor of up to 2 echelons above. For example, the combat group must act in favor of its platoon, but understand the effectiveness of its performance in favor of the company. For engagement or combat, effective means of intervening in the maneuver. Through fire and motion. Through the fires. Through artillery reinforcements, fire, engineering, mobility and counter-mobility. Commander's presence. 5. Protection or defense. Resistance, capacity for mobilization and reallocation of both human, supply and industrial resources. Possibility of defending oneself against attacks, maneuver, range of weapons, mobility and counter-mobility, judicious use of the terrain. 6. Information or intelligence. Intelligence, enemy positions, fractions deployed on the ground, capacity and means. Monitoring, sensing and target engagement. Force reconnaissance, use of unmanned aerial vehicles, observation, indicia, intelligence regions of interest. 7. Logistics. Flow of replacement weaponry and ammunition suitable for each type of weapon on a continuous basis. Replenishment of combat-worn troops. Evacuation of wounded elements, their recovery and return to combat. Distribution of advanced logistical intermediate posts, closer to the troops. Reversal of the logistical flow. Supply chain. Initially, the Ukrainian military might consisted of 260,000 men, 2416 tanks and armored vehicles, 1509 artillery and mortar pieces, 535 multiple rocket launchers, 152 aircraft, 149 helicopters, 36 Bayraktar TB2 drones, 180 medium and long-range anti-aircraft systems, 300 radar stations. Now we will focus on the ground forces distributed throughout the Ukrainian territory with the highest concentration of troops in Donbass, Kharkiv and throughout the Kherson and Zaporizhia region. It turns out that Ukraine had an enormous military power divided into brigades, consisting of several regiments or battalions. Modern combat brigades typically include operational multi-weapon units and are therefore also referred to as combined arms brigades. Each brigade type has a predominance of units maneuvering a particular weapon. Armored brigades have a predominance of tanks, mechanized brigades have a predominance of mechanized cavalry, airborne brigades have a predominance of paratroopers, and infantry brigades have a predominance of motorized infantry. For mountain brigades, 2 operational and 2 in reserve, 5 motorized brigades, 4 operational and 1 in reserve, 14 mechanized brigades, 9 operational and 5 in reserve, 6 tank brigades, 2 operational and 4 in reserve, and 6 artillery brigades, 4 operational and 2 in reserve. The maintenance of the Ukrainian army's combative power was initially due to the war tactic of burning terrain, taking the war to the great centers with the judicious use of the terrain in the first 6 weeks of the conflict, the sending of weapons, mainly anti-tank and defense weapons. Anti-aircraft, which Russia gained air superiority and mobility of its armored troops. Added to these factors is the access to intelligence data by friendly nations. In addition to these factors, the permanence of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky reinforced command and control with immediate action of his commander-in-chief, coordinating the war efforts and the mobilization of the country. Now let's see in detail the shipment of heavy weapons to Ukraine. 100 T-72M1 tanks confirmed, 40 from Theka Republic, 60 from Poland, and an unknown number from Bulgaria, forming an armored brigade minus 2 tank battalions. 120 mechanized troop transport vehicles, on tracks, 60 from the Theka Republic, 40 from Poland, 20 from the Netherlands, and an unknown number from Bulgaria, forming a mechanized brigade with less than 2 battalions of mechanized troop transport vehicles. 140 pieces of 155 mm M777 towed artillery from Australia, Canada, and the United States, and unknown numbers from Estonia, Bulgaria, and Italy, forming an artillery brigade. 82 pieces of self-propelled artillery, 30 from Poland and Norway, 40 from Theka Republic, and 12 from France. 51 multiple rocket launchers, 20 RM-70 from Theka Republic, 20 BM-21 from Poland, 7 MLRS from the United Kingdom and Germany, and 4 HIMARS from the United States. On the part of multiple rocket launchers, we have a critical situation for Ukraine. But why is artillery so important? The difference is overwhelming, as while Russia executes more than 50,000 artillery fire on Ukrainian troops during the fighting, Ukraine, in turn, manages to execute less than 6,000 heavy artillery fire on Russian targets. Ukraine believes it needs 1,000 howitzers, 300 multiple rocket launchers, 500 tanks, 2,000 armored troop transport vehicles, and 1,000 drones to have weapons parity. Russia has already launched more than 2,600 long-range, high-precision cruise and ballistic missiles, and the only defense would be anti-aircraft defense systems like the S-300. The big challenge is that Russia has already turned these weapons into priority targets, as we see here the destruction of towed M777 howitzers. In addition, there is a risk that part of these weapons will fall into Russian hands when Ukrainian troops surrender and can be used against the Ukrainians themselves. There is still another big dilemma: sending the weapons in isolation to the front line that would miss the joint action with barrages of fire, or composing complete fractions of these weapons and, perhaps, losing the best opportunity to use these weapons on the battlefield. The need for training for each weapon sent and the corresponding ammunition creates another logistical obstacle. People, Homeland and Power Channel. Subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Faced with this endless need for weapons, the question remains, how long will the West want to pay for the ever-increasing cost of this war, given the signs of retraction in the world economy? Save Ukraine.